We are legends.
Welcome to We RRR Legends, the unofficial podcast for DC Legends Mobile. I am Slowbeast, and with me as always is Hate Mail. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it.
Breaking news.
So we finally got our Superboy $99 sale for your 250. How many gems is it? I don't even remember anymore. How many gems?
25,000.
25,000 gems. I knew there was a 2 and a 5. Did you buy it?
Of course.
I did not. I withheld. I held back.
Well, this is probably not the worst one because while Superboy is kind of fun, he's not the greatest character that was ever created.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see your breakdown of how Superboy was as a character before I decided on whether or not I want to spend $100 on him. Hopefully next month we get somebody that I do want to spend money on because my gems are low and I'm free to play for the moment. So
Well, I don't necessarily even buy them anymore for the character. I mean, that's a bonus, but I just want the gems anyway to cure out other characters and play the game. So
yeah, I mean, it is the best sale that they have. I'm sure that's where they get the most people buying up their gems because if you're gonna pay $100 for gems anyway, you might as well get the character shards for free.
exactly, and then the Black Adam ones will be out soon. So if you didn't buy them during this and you want Black Adam, who's a pretty fun character and pretty good.
I do like Black Adam.
Yeah, I've warmed up to him more and more and more. During his Alliance week, I'll play him a whole lot, and then I'll really get him. Figure out how much I really like him. But I used him a lot for a little while there. Works well with this Power Girl team.
Yeah, I've been
Well, the buffing character helps with him, so I think it kind of fits Well, this week obviously we're going to talk about Superboy.
Right.
You want to hear about it. Do a thorough amount of testing with them. The legendary order on 1, 2, 4, 5. And the reason I picked it, going around is great, but the reason going around is good, not the damage, which is pretty light. Not horrible.
It did seem like he doesn't hit very hard at all.
Yeah, his Frost Breath, the nice thing is once you put the legendary upgrade in it, it can strike 2 additional times, which doesn't always happen, but it seems to happen a little more frequently than the percentage says it will. And sometimes it'll just hit once, but then he'll use his basic, which has a chance to stun. So that one's guaranteed to stun, and that one I've noticed, it doesn't seem like it can miss. I've never seen it miss on Harley Quinn, so that makes it quite powerful. The nice part is, if there's a taunter like Power Girl or one of those, you can stun Deathstroke or stun Red Hood or one of the characters that might be a pain in the butt to deal with. I really feel like you need to get him to Legendary 2 to get the most out of his kit, because you do want to take that ability, and you also want to take his basic, the Super Slam, which does pretty horrible damage, but if you have the Legendary upgrade, it has a 30% chance to stun, which that's really its bread and butter. You'll see, if you're watching the YouTube video version, you'll see a lot of matches where I'm fighting characters that I'm able to just continually stun them. They may not do enough damage to kill me with one hit, but 2 or 3 hits would kill the character, so I'm able to stun them and then reboot. His second ability is what I would go with next, his Heat Vision Burst. That one can actually do a okay amount of damage. When he uses it, it gives him 3 true sights, which that's what allows him to go around taunting characters. The other stronger thing with the true sight, in my opinion, though, is the invisible characters. So when you're facing a hard gun Deadshot team, you can stun him before he can use his big attack and get your mystic character one-shotted. So that part's pretty nice. But with the legendary upgrade, it allows him to purge 2 to 5 buffs. This can be pretty useful against characters you want to remove buff for, like Power Girl, Deathstroke, the usual suspects that have buffs that are kind of annoying. His fourth ability, the Emerging Super Senses, that one for some reason doesn't seem to proc too often. I did have a match last night where it seemed to proc constantly, but overall I haven't found it as useful as I thought that would be, which gives him the damage immunity. He's actually fairly tanky, so he can take a hit. So that part of it, you don't really seem like you need it as much in the AI, and if you're facing against him, you probably won't target him that much early because you're not really that scared of him. His fifth ability with the 5% turn meter up might be better than I'm giving credit for, but so far I'm taking it last because, 5% turn meter isn't a ton, and I feel like it's better served in his other abilities if you plan to use them. Where I think he's most useful is on stun teams. I'm not overly impressed with him, but he's pretty fun with like Killer Frost, Hawk Girl. If there's another stun character that thrives off other characters being stunned that comes out in the future, he might be a lot more useful than he is now. And I have seen that with many characters from time to time. But overall, I wouldn't rush out to gear him out. I definitely stick to the more important characters, even characters that you would just consider more fun if you want a side character. For his skills, if you decide you want to use them and you're intrigued by his kit, the order I would max his actual skills would be to use that precious Blue Hope would be 4, 2, 5, 1, 3. With 4 and 2 being the only ones that I consider super important, so you could really just gear those two out and leave the rest undone.
Well, it's really nice that you broke that down. I know people had been asking you to do that, and I honestly wanted you to do that for me as well because the Blue Hope is so precious.
It is, yeah, that is the most expensive part of gearing out a character, so I definitely not to worry too much about the other skills other than 4 and 2, in my opinion, for that character.
Okay. Did you have another character this week for us?
Yeah, I actually reached out to the Reddit and in-game forum community and I listed all the characters I haven't geared out yet and who they wanted to see me gear out and test for this show. And surprisingly, the character people wanted to see most was Lex Luther's Survival Support Suit. He was a lot more fun than I expected him to be. And he's actually a better character than I expected him to be. I thought he was going to be pretty crappy, but I liked him a lot better. I had more fun with him than I did with Superboy. You can't use him on every team, obviously, because it's difficult to use him as your sole energy character unless you have characters that help buff him up or support him. But he's actually pretty good. He works pretty well on certain teams. The legendary I would go with him after a lot of discussion with some other people who looked at him and playtesting would be 1, 3, 3, 4, 2. I'd probably go this route even if you don't plan to use him as leader too often, but you want to have the option. Unless you plan to never ever use him as leader. That would be the order I would probably go with. Maybe bump 4 behind 2 if you only want to use him as support. But he does have a neat little leadership ability. The first legendary I put into his basic, which is the hands-free security, it allows him to apply a buff immunity as long as he's above half-life, which typically you are early on unless you're facing a really strong Mystic team. That legendary upgrade is quite useful against buffers. Wonder Woman, DOJ, Power Girl, Deathstroke, all of them keeps them from getting the additional buffs, so you can either, if you're fighting a Deathstroke team and you don't have Red Hood, you can kill off another person after hitting them with a basic. Same thing with Wonder Woman DOJ, she won't be able to cast her buff, at least for one turn. So that's pretty nice. His third ability, the Metahuman Deterrent, it does much better damage than I thought it would. If you have Steppenwolf, other characters that would buff him up, it will crit pretty hard. I actually had one occasion where I one-shotted a Gear 11 Harley Quinn MJ, so I was really surprised it could do that much damage.
That's pretty impressive.
The downside to the legendary upgrade is you have to upgrade it twice, and the first legendary just silences, which kind of stinks. I mean, it's useful, but it's not super useful. But the second one gives him the ability to call assist if he's above half-life, which that I found quite useful, because even if you're facing a Mystic or a character that you have a negative affinity, having that call assist that will allow them to get hit or you want to finish off is super useful. The next ability that I looked at was his leadership, which is the LexCorp Prepare Bot. That gives him a 50% chance to crit when he heals. Those heals aren't huge, but when you fully max out the ability, all allies have a 60% chance to gain a light heal and buff, and these add up over time. So if you're using characters that cast self buffs like Mira or Cyborg, they will continually get heals. And if your team gets low on life and you have a taunter or somebody that helps keep you alive, after they take a few turns, they start stacking their life back up. So that's actually pretty good. The last ability was apply force speed up to random allies. I did think this was a pretty good ability, but because of the fact that you don't get to choose who those force speed ups go to, sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may not. But that is still a pretty good ability, so he actually is one of those characters that benefits from all of his legendary upgrades, but I don't think he's going to be one I'll rush to get to legendary 5 when there's so many more higher priority characters.
Mm-hmm.
For the skills, the order I would max out the skills would be 3, 1, 2, 4, or if you plan to use them as a leader a lot, I'd switch 2 and 4. But I believe, that would be a good order to go with, because some of those abilities aren't quite as important as the others. Legendary 3 is probably his ideal point, and characters I would definitely recommend pairing him with is Mira, Bane, and Wonder Woman DOJ. I actually ran that team with him as leader. Mira would help keep him alive, and then Bane just sits there and buffs, and every time he buffs, he's getting healed, which is really awesome. And then when Wonder Woman spreads her buffs across the team, they'll all get healed. So that team actually was pretty strong. I had a lot of fun with him. I was really surprised by it.
Well, it's a pretty easily obtained character too. He's got a lot of heroic spots you can pick up his shards from.
Yeah, and you also get him from PvP, so I know a lot of people have a lot of his shards, and I think that was part of the reason why people are interested in him, because you almost never see him.
Yeah,
But
whether
you
or not to
also,
spend it. Seems like he's not a bad comp, especially that Bane and Mira. That's pretty nice.
yeah, he's a fun character. I do plan to mess around with him a little bit more. And you'll see if you check the YouTube video version, you'll see him a lot in a lot of teams. So.
Crazy team comps with Ogre Barbarian.
All right, let's hear what team comps Ogre had for you this week.
All right, so Ogre sent us a few team comps, and I'll have him give us a little bit of his theory crafting behind it. The first one I couldn't do because I don't have Doomsday geared out yet, but I really liked the idea of this comp, which was Lex Luthor, Bane, Solomon Grundy, and Doomsday. What was your theory behind this one, Ogre?
So the theory behind that is Lex's leadership grants a heal whenever you receive a buff, right? All three of those guys receive tons of buffs.
Nice.
You get a taunt with Doomsday to help protect, and build up everybody, because obviously Doomsday needs to build up, Bane kind of needs to build up. Lex is a little bit squishy, so you have that, but then he also gets agilities when he gets hit from his passive, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think, no, it probably won't, because it's a passive, proccing a passive. Originally, I was thinking that it would proc his leadership, but it probably doesn't.
I think it does, actually, because I was messing a team I was using earlier. I talked about in our in-depth character analysis. One of my favorite teams with him is Mira, Bane, and Wonder Woman DOJ. And I noticed that whenever he got hit, he seemed like he was healing. So, and
Interesting.
I couldn't tell if that was from his own mens going on him, but his life did seem to go up each time. So I'll have to test it a little further, but it might work.
Bane's passive does grant a heal.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
So his ability does grant a heal. Also, there's a difference there because Bane's passive procs the other move.
Right.
So that might be. I'm not sure how it all interacts.
But that team definitely seems really interesting. As soon as I get Doomsday geared, I plan to test that one out because that seems like
Doomsday procs him constantly.
Yeah.
So they can be hitting him down, and he'll gain a bunch of life off of his own buff, plus the heal off of Lex, and he's hard to take down at that point. So, but the idea was that Lex can purge off buffs from the enemy team to hopefully let your big guys do their thing. So.
No loot for you, which I'm sure everybody's seen his teams because he's got almost everybody super high geared. He's even got him. His roster makes my roster look a little sad. He says Doomsday's well worth taking the legendary 5 gear 11, level 80. So it was his comment to me.
Wow.
The next team we had that I do have all the characters, and I actually did test this one out, and it actually works quite well, was Lex Luthor, Wonder Woman DOJ, Cheetah, and Power Girl. Loved this team. A lot of fun. And you're, I could definitely see with you, every single one of these characters have buffs that they cast, and they do quite a bit of damage, and you have to get through both Power Girl and Wonder Woman to even kill Cheetah and Lex Luthor, so that made the team extra strong. Any extra benefits to that synergy, Ogre?
Well, okay, so Lex's speed-ups are kind of the key there. The characters are already pretty fast, except for Lex himself, so just getting those extra speed-ups from him just makes them nightmare to deal with because they're just going to be so blazing fast. Wonder Woman DOJ can actually pass those around with her basic attack, so that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, that team was fun. I tested that one out. And then another team I messed with a little bit, but not as much as I wanted to, but it definitely seemed like it was one of those teams that's going to be just a pain in the butt to fight, was Lex Luthor, Penguin, Catwoman, and Hippolyta. And what was your thought process behind this one?
So the thought process here was that Penguin's shield, one legendary, applies the affinity resistance, right? Mm-hmm. Which is going to proc Lex's heal. And I'm still not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure team-wide buffs will actually heal everybody.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's based on
that with DOJ.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
So so now Penguin's move is a shield and heal. That makes that obnoxious. Catwoman is constantly gaining invisibility and buffs and healing herself anyway from her own abilities, so getting additional heals on top of that is really nice. Plus she gains speed ups, and then Lex applying his speed ups. Lex having his turn meter control on his Anti-alien strike is really good. So you have tons of purging, tons of speed up and healing everywhere. It's just like the team is going to be really, really hard to take down. And on top of that, you have Hippolyta who can, apply meter up and strength up to the team, or even more shields and agility ups to the team. Like either route you go, the team just turns into a nightmare to deal with when you're trying to take them down because they're just so tanky at that point.
The only challenge I had with that team was that Hippolyta, if she doesn't have a taunter protecting her, she can go down pretty fast, especially when she's not leader.
She can, yeah.
That was my only challenge with that team, but they were fun teams.
And to be fair, you could swap Hippolyta to the leader on that one.
Yeah, I ran.
Still,
he was
just as much effect.
He was actually quite good outside of leader, which was surprising to me because I thought his only role was really going to fill as the leader with his little niche, but he was a lot better character than I expected.
Yeah, he's just a good, solid character. And the only thing that ever bothered me was that he has a leader with only 4 moves, which means he doesn't have a passive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously there's other characters like that, but they typically will have 4 active skills in that case.
Right. Yeah, I could see him getting a minor rework tweak, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Even though I don't know, I get worried whenever they do that.
If his leadership became a passive, that would be the nuts.
Yeah, that would be
awesome. Oh my gosh, yeah.
He would be on demand, give me Lex now.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, actually.
And really, that's the only thing that would need to change, if anything.
Yeah.
He's a really good character.
I'm actually really impressed. I've always thought of him as the weaker of the 2 Lexes, and just hearing about his usage, I've never really looked at his kit that well. I think I'm going to spend a little bit of resources on him.
Yeah, you should actually watch my YouTube video on him.
I refuse to watch your YouTube.
See, the problem with Lex is that he has a really low speed, and I think that's where a lot of his naysayers kind of draw their line, is that his speed is like 88.
But I didn't really have as big of issues with him, especially because I was running, I guess, more speed up characters with him. But it was more just that he's squishy, because you need him to be above half-life to be beneficial, and he would get knocked below half-life a little too easily. That was my biggest challenge with him.
Look forward to seeing what characters you'll have for us next week, Ogre.
Thanks, Ogre.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, Brennan, you certainly have had a lot of jobs.
I'm a bit of a spark plug and human resources lady.
It's Pam.
I'm sorry. Well, Pan.
No, my name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I'm saying Pam. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who is this gentleman sitting behind you?
Hello, Ms. Lady.
All right, we wanted to introduce Alexi Volkov. He's a moderator for the in-game forums. He's been playing the game for quite a while and has some pretty awesome teams. So Alexi, first we'd like to get to know you a little bit better. How long have you been playing DC Legends?
How you doing? I've been playing about a year now.
What do you think would be your favorite character in the DC universe?
Insofar as
what's your favorite character in the DC universe? Like I'm a huge fan of Deathstroke, and it has nothing to do with the mobile game.
Right. Well, I really like Shazam. I've always been a fan of Shazam.
All right.
How do you like him in the game in comparison to
After the rework, much better. Much, much better. I just wish they would fix his overheal, number 1, and his second legendary on the Fortitude of Atlas. And on defense, I was hoping that the AI would use his taunt more often, because it doesn't.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think when those couple little bugs are fixed, he can be a pretty awesome character.
Definitely, I agree. Because I absolutely love him as a character. He's great.
And what team comps do you currently run in the most? What are you most enjoying playing?
I gotta say, just about anything with Steppenwolf lead. He's
nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's Hate's favorite right now too.
Yeah, he's such a good character.
It is. I think he's probably the top 1 or 2 green character right now in DCL, definitely.
And we also wanted to ask you a few questions about your moderating abilities in the game.
Yes.
We noticed you became a moderator. How did you become an in-game moderator for the forums?
It just sort of happened, really. I didn't even ask for it. I didn't apply for it. Somebody else became a moderator first. I believe it was Macho Man and CP Joker. They were the first moderators, and I guess they nominated me, and I was asked to join. I said, okay, why not? And then later on, Beowulf joined. So that's how the 4 of us became moderators.
And what kind of responsibilities do you have in doing that? Do you is it a lot of work, or you just see people and
It's
give them the
you
band
know, it's
hammer?
not that much work. It's well, initially our first responsibility was to clean up the forum from getting rid of all the trolls. I don't know how much of that you know, but we had some problems with people just spamming the entire forum and just making trouble. So that was quite a bit of work, clean that up.
Mhm.
But I
And
definitely
then,
never noticed it, so it must have
yeah.
been you must have done a good job.
I think you didn't come into the forum until a little bit afterwards. I didn't really see you that
Yeah,
much earlier.
Hate didn't spend much time in the in-game forums. He's mostly
Right,
on Reddit and stuff. But yeah,
right.
he has become more of a presence on the in-game forums recently.
I noticed, and I'm glad. Definitely glad to have you there.
Well, my
It's
problem with
not.
the in-game forums was
Mhm.
that I can't, like, if I'm if I'm at work and I'm taking a break or whatever, I could pop on Reddit, but going in the
Mhm.
in-game forum was more cumbersome, so that was what held me
Yeah,
back for a little while. And then I
I
started
understand.
learning my navigation through there a little better and
Yeah.
spending more time.
You know, I'm glad you're there because, not everyone uses Reddit and not everyone uses the official WB forum. So it's really, really great to have you there and publishing content. That's really awesome. So
We're
thank you
trying
for that.
we're trying to get Slowbeast to start using any form of communication in game, but
It's
he likes
probably
to
not going to
hide.
happen. I just don't have the time to try to sit down and usually what ends up happening with me is I'll write the perfect response or question for a forum and then I'll be like, nah, it's not good enough, and I erase it. So it's more of a heartache for me to try to do all that.
I hear you.
How are you liking Superboy?
Well, it is a little bit disappointing.
Okay.
But as everyone knows, he doesn't deal a lot of damage, especially his basic and his third attack. His special damage is not too bad. When he crits, I've noticed he does up to about 16k in damage, which isn't that bad. But in general, if you have physical tunes on the opposing team, you need to bring another green that deals more damage than he does. That's for sure. But I really like his stun. Definitely. His capability, the potential to apply multiple stuns in a round, that's really useful. Um, being able to target invisible targets, of course, and going around taunt, those are all nifty. And being able to purge buffs, those are nice as well. But I don't know, in general, if I want to deal with a taunting character or an evasion character, I'd rather just bring another character like Catwoman or Wonder Woman, DOJ, and so forth.
Yeah, I'd have to
So,
agree with that. What do you think,
yeah.
Hayes?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this in the main section a lot, but he's a fun character. He's not a great character, and like you said, he can't be your only energy character because he just doesn't do
No.
enough damage.
I do appreciate his animations. I think they're really spot on. I enjoyed watching that part of. So what would you be hoping to see in the future? Maybe next month of February, the new characters.
New characters. Well, if I say it probably won't happen, but everybody wants Martian Manhunter.
Oh, that would be great.
That.
Yeah,
Everyone wants that, but I doubt it.
him and Starfire are the two big requests.
That's right. That's right. Who do you think the rework will be?
Ooh.
I don't know. It depends on what theme they end up going. I know we need Sinestro Yellow Lantern's probably high on the list. Joker Damaged Goods really needs it. I could see them for Valentine's Day maybe doing Joker Harley Quinn type of thing, but I hope they don't rework either of the Harleys because they're both quite
that
good.
would be very good.
Oh yeah, Harley Quite Vexing is quite good already. She doesn't need a rework. She's fine. Yeah.
She's one I keep meaning the gear. But Damaged Goods definitely could use the rework.
Maybe Metaphil?
Metro?
He's
No, I
kind
think
of
he's
good
fine
now.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
just don't
fine.
see him much,
Well, he's not easy to obtain, and
Exactly.
he's more of a niche character, but he's a very good niche character.
How about Hawk Girl? And they introduce Hawkman in the as a new character.
That would be cool. I'd be down for
Yeah,
that.
that would be nice. Yeah.
I like Hawk.
Jessica Cruz needs one.
Oh,
really
please
bad.
do Jessica Cruz. They desperately need to do that.
I think she's number one on the list.
Yeah.
Black Canary.
Yeah, Black Canary could use it. She's not great. I mean, she's not bad, but she could use a little tweak at least. I worry that whenever they rework a character that is already decent, because I don't want them
Make it worse.
Yeah, because it's happened a couple times now. So
But who do you
Yeah.
think was made worse besides Joker CPC? Who else was made worse?
I'm trying to think now. I know there was somebody I didn't really care for the.
Honest.
Well, I like Dr. Fate now, but I loved the old character, so
Mm-hmm,
the theme behind the old character. So, but he
Right.
was one that people really hated, and then he ended up
I
actually being
know.
a lot better than people thought. So, the
Yeah.
damage or Joker, the regular CPC Joker, he's the Clown Prince. He's actually, I don't think he's as bad as everybody else thinks. I like him on enraged teams. So,
Oh, well, the point is the comparison. Before he was great, and now he's just okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
he was
agree with
made
that.
worse with the rework. That was the problem.
but he's another character. They would have been better off just using that new kit into a new character more than
Mm-hmm.
reworking
Mm-hmm.
him.
I agree. How did you like the Alliance mission yesterday? Using all the what was it, midfill?
I don't
Batman,
have
WG,
midfill geared yet, and
WGD.
yeah, that was actually I had the least amount of characters for that grouping.
Really?
Yeah, that was
It was
rough.
tough. It was tough. That's basically 3 support characters and Hippolyta. It was not
Well,
easy.
I like Hippolyta. She's like my,
Yeah.
one of my favorite characters
Yeah.
now. I
Yeah,
use
that's
her.
kind of his super secret bay that he's
Yeah,
been
no, she's
throwing on
great.
every team.
She was the only damage dealer in the whole team, though, but the other 3 were support tunes, so it was really tough.
I was
Yeah.
just
Kinda
using
keep
her
bouncing.
and Superboy, and then I was running into the Power Girl and Cheetah or somebody, whoever needed to fill the niche.
Yeah, I was being stubborn and greedy. I tried using all 4.
I usually do, but I just said I wasn't going to put myself through that this time.
Took about 4 minutes to finish off some teams, especially if they had like Cyborg Superman. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Took forever.
Well, Alexi, I appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to plug or talk about?
No, go Convoluted Heroes. That's my Alliance members. So I gotta
Yeah,
say
you
that.
guys are always near the top there. And just for everyone to know, Lexi was an owl for a week, and he's still an honorary owl in our. But his alliance pulled him back, so we were
Don't
sad
get
to
me
lose him.
wrong, my time with the Owls were great. You guys were awesome, but yeah, Convoluted was my home was.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you for inviting me, guys. It's been a blast.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Well, I'm sure we'll have you on again one day in the future.
Looks like you've become the go-to person on Reddit for making comps for people. I guess you were recently tagged in one of Ogre's posts asking your opinion on the worst comp you could possibly make.
Yeah, I guess it was a question that came up during their episode 5 that just dropped of their Oddsman podcast. And I was looking at this list of characters that they have that are considered the worst characters. And somebody wrote on here, I guess the team that they thought was pretty terrible was the Jessica Cruz, Joker, one of the Jokers, and then Yellow Lantern, Sinestro, and Penguin. I don't have Joker Damaged Goods geared out yet, and I don't have Yellow Lantern, Sinestro. But a team I actually do have all. But the team I would consider to be the absolute worst would probably be Joker Damaged Good, Penguin, Superboy, and Swamp Thing. Because there's no synergy there. All of those characters hit like kittens. And I just don't see how you'd ever win a match.
Yeah, they really don't work together at all. That's great. And you're not getting any benefits from them helping each other. Yeah, I don't see how that could be how that could not be the worst team.
I noticed on their list they have a few characters that I would highly disagree are bad. Raven's really good. That's on the
I like
list.
Raven.
Bizarro's not bad. Reverse Flash. I don't even understand how Reverse Flash could be on there.
How could Reverse Flash ever be bad?
Black Adam. Black Adam's. I can see where people think he's bad, but he's actually good.
Yeah.
But that is a fun, entertaining thread. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to make we're gonna have to give you to make that team. Let's see.
Yeah.
Who do you not have geared out? Swamp Thing?
Yeah, I don't have Swamp Thing geared out, and I don't have Joker Damaged Good. I'm actually thinking about doing him soon because I've had a lot of requests about him, and he's so bad that there's a very tiny group of people that think he's good. Problem is, I wanted him to be Legendary 3, so I could actually give him a true test run, and he's still Legendary 2. So slowly but surely grabbing his shards in Alliance packs, but it's a slow grind. So
Yeah, you'll have to make some bad team comps with him just to see how bad he actually is.
yeah, exactly.
You can really put it out there. Some YouTube videos of him just really sucking.
Yeah.
All right. So what characters do you think we're gonna see next month?
The characters I'm hoping for. Well, there's 2 things that could be happening. We have Valentine's Day in February, and we also have Black History Month.
That's true.
So I was thinking that if they go with the CW Supergirl Black History Month, we might even see Martian Manhunter.
Oh, see,
But he's green, so I don't know if you want to consider that. But the
But
character
the
that plays
character
him,
in DC is not. Yeah, on
Yeah.
the show is not. So, and he's a shapeshifter, so he can be whatever color he wants.
exactly. But we also have the CW news show, and a character I'd like to see would be Black Lightning. He would be
Oh
cool.
yeah, I'm excited for that show. Do you even know when that comes out? We'll
It's
have
out.
to check it out. Oh, is
It's
it?
already out. Yeah, it's already
Oh,
out.
now I gotta watch it. Have you watched it at all?
I haven't yet. I've heard it's a little hokey, so I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, but all those
that's normal for
all those
Yeah,
CW shows are a little hokey. So
exactly.
it's like the price we have to pay to see our superheroes is you gotta watch a little bit of that hokiness. But
I always want to see. I think a good Valentine's Day gift for all of us would be Starfire, of course.
yeah, your favorite.
I'd like to see Cersei.
Okay.
She'd be cool. For Black History Month too, they could also look at Bumblebee. She's awesome. That'd be another good character that I've seen people suggest. Would be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way they go with that if they do and then the reworks, like you were saying in our interview with Alexi. Which characters did you think are gonna get reworked?
Characters I think we probably would see. Well, it just depends on the theme they go.
Yeah.
If they go, I don't know, because we're actually getting to a point where there isn't too many characters left. I mean, I want to see Jessica Cruz. I want to see Sinestro, Yellow Lantern. I want to see Joker, Damaged Goods. I don't know. I'm mixed about Raven. I want to play her before I would say Raven because I think she might need a tweak, but I don't want to see a whole rework.
I think she's just got abilities that don't work correctly.
I'm kind of on board with Bizarro. Before I wasn't, but I like that he's an anti-bleeder, and I hope they keep that in his kit. But I do think he needs a little bit more. I actually want to see Flash get a little bit of a tweak.
Yeah.
He's decent, but he's not. Reverse Slash is so much better.
Yeah.
A Swamp Thing. They could do Swamp Thing. No, there isn't a single good thing about him. So.
He's like one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe.
Yeah, he really should be a little better than he is.
I mean, that was one of the complaints I made about the game was that Superman should be the strongest character in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see any one character be the strongest character in the game. I mean, I guess
No, he should have some faults, but
Deathstroke should have been Superman.
see, exactly, that would be perfect. yeah, but yeah.
Well, we should hear by the time you hear the next podcast, the new characters probably would have been announced. I would think.
And we're
right around. Yeah, we might know. We might, or at least have the hints of.
So we're going to start a new segment. Hopefully, if we have room on the next episode, we'll go ahead and start the first segment of that. If not, it'll be a couple episodes from now. But we have a new player, just downloaded the game and started playing. And he's going to be on probably once a month to discuss as he's advancing through the game, ask questions about characters and where he should be concentrating his time. He's going to be a free-to-play player. And I think it's going to be a great segment to just really help us to questions that we wouldn't think of as we've both been familiar with the game. So hopefully that'll be a good segment.
Yeah, we've had a lot of requests for the some more beginner content. So we thought we would, free-to-play players know the game, so it's not questions catering to free-to-play players, but more towards newer players that just don't understand certain things. So we thought we would add a segment to that for the next month. Probably 2 or 3 episodes at least, where we have a chunk to that. We may even add that as a permanent segment for a small section of the podcast. So we thought that'd be an interesting idea.
Yep. So hopefully we'll have that for you next episode if we have enough time. If not, it'll be the episode after that. And then we're still trying to get that interview. We're trying to get to where we can have time to interview Grim Reaper about his PvP. So we'll see if we can get that interview done. Hopefully we'll have enough time to do it. If not, then we may have to move on from that.
I actually just got a response to him that he got called into work again.
Okay.
So fortunately he wasn't able to get on. Hopefully we'll be able to do that with him in the future.
All right. Well, that's all I had.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Do you like the show? Consider becoming a patron and get a special show each month, our special Q&A episode. It's only $1 to have access to this. Check it out at patreon.com, WeRRRLegends.
Thanks for listening. You're not going to say anything?